Hi, my name is Justin Schubert here at Challenge Champions Equestrian Center. Today we're going to be going over the basics of show grooming. We're going to be going over for just a Western all-arounder, maybe pleasure riding or whatnot. But first thing you want to start out with is you want to make sure that you give your horse a really good bath prior to. So we just went through, we washed our horse. Hi, buddy. Went ahead, washed them out, bathed them really well, did a really good groom on them, went through their manes, made sure, detangled their manes and their tails, went ahead and picked their feet, cleaned their feet up, and then we're going to move into our first thing, which is clipping. Okay, so for the clipping, like I've talked about before in some of my other videos, you want to make sure that you never kneel next to a horse, all right? You want to make sure you're on like the balls of your feet, so if your horse trips, whatnot, you can move to safety, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and talk about, for clippings, what we want to cover. So the biggest thing is, now that we're coming out of winter time, is getting these long hairs on the back of the legs, and then on the back of the fetlock here. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to line up our cornet band because we want this to be nice and clean, okay? Next section we want is our jaw line. Get that all cleaned up. We can shave this off here. We have our bridle path. They used to kind of be kept kind of long at like 2 to 3 inches, but for pleasure, we're going to come through and we're going to actually shave that. A good rule of thumb, you can actually take the horse's ear and come back, and it gives you just a good section just to know what you need to shave off. Okay. Next after that, you're going to want to do the ears. Now for, pause really quick. All right, and then for the clippings, we're going to, we're going to make sure we're going to do the ears, around the eyes, just the whiskers, the muzzle whiskers. And then we're going to clean up the throat and get all that long hair out of there. So we have a nice, clean looking neck and throat line. All right. Something also to remember when we're clipping, when you're clipping anywhere around the horse's face. Right now I'm actually using cross ties. So you want to make sure and take your cross ties off. That way if they rear up or whatnot, they're not pulling too hard. But I just have a lead rope attached here, so that way while I'm doing this, I always have control of my horse. Pause. All right, next I'm going to be covering banding. And I've actually done a couple bands already. But the biggest thing for banding is to get that hair to lie down on the horse's neck and throat line, because you want to be able to show off all of this. Now for this horse, we obviously have a longer mane, but sometimes they have short manes. So the biggest thing for banding, I got my cool tools here. Major. Okay. For banding, we're going to hold this hair out. We're actually going to get a nice little section here. Not too big. That's actually really good section there. Okay. Actually, a little light. All right, and then I'll clip this hair back here. Hold it up out of the way. The biggest thing is I want to make sure and get up here and start holding the hair down, and then I'll take my band, and it's just like doing doing your hair at home. I want to make sure it's nice and tight. But I like to come in from the top. While I'm continually holding this down. All right, and I like to go around it 4 or 5 times. Just making sure it's nice and tight. Okay, now once you got that, right, take the bottom sections, just kind of pull them up nice and tight, and then that really helps the hair lie down. All right, I'm only going to show you one. We're going to go from front to back, but that is that there. Coming up to the front, to the forelock. I'm just going to show you how I did this one, but I started at the top. I brought it into 3 sections. He doesn't want to. I started at the top, one little section at the top, and then I went below it, did another section, and then brought all 3 sections together, and that just helps it lie nice on their face. All right, so next thing is putting in a fake tail for the horse. All right, so coming back here to the back of the horse, again with safety, you are near the horse's blind spot, but we're going to go ahead and talk about installing the fake tail. So actually what we did here, we actually clipped up, we separated the tail out into 2 sections and brought this top part up. And then you can actually see we only had a black tail. We probably would have had more of a brownish reddish tint, but for the sake of this video today we use this black one. So at the top here we actually went ahead and braided it in, and then we electrically taped it for stability, okay, with black electrical tape. All right. Now for length on this, you want it to come in here at the bottom of the fetlock. So it might actually be a little bit high, but have it down here at the bottom of the fetlock, just so it's not dragging the ground. And once you get it installed, then you can bring all this together and you can clip the bottom to make sure that it all matches. All right, and that is my then we can bring this out. Sorry. We can go through this, brush this out, mend it all together. Next thing I want to talk about is your final. Sorry, can you pause it? All right. Next, we're going to be moving into like our final touches. All right. So next, I'm going to cover our hoof black. Make sure and it'll really blacken up the hoofs. Okay, so here we got a bottle of hoof black, and I've already done one side, but I'm gonna come around here. All right, and you're gonna just basically cover from the cornet band down. All right. I'm going to go around all the way to the bottom. Make it a nice line. All right. And again, for safety, make sure you're not kneeling next to your horse, just so you can get away to safety. Now that I've done the front 2, we're going to go ahead and move. And for the instance of this video, I'm only going to do 1. But we're going to go ahead and do the rest of them. That way all 4 feet match. Okay. Next, so next we have we actually use isopropyl to clean up the face, to get away, get rid of all the stains or whatnot that they might have on their face. All right. Now for safety for this, Sometimes the horses don't really like the smell of isopropyl. So you're going to want to make sure that you unclip your horse prior to doing this. Okay, here's our bottle of isopropyl. You can just spray it into your rag. Okay. Like I said, we're going to unclip. Sometimes it might be nice just to have an extra hand. But for this, we're going to take, and obviously you want to stay away from their eyes and whatnot, but we're just going to clean up their face. Give them a nice little sheen. Get all the stains out if there's any in there. All right. That's pretty good for now. Okay? Now we'll leave you be. All right. So now that we're done with the face, I can re-clip them back up. And we'll go ahead and talk about our show sheen. Alright, comes in a nice white bottle like this. Let me pause it really quick. Alright, and then for this, for the show sheen, we're going to we want to spray front and back. I tend to, if I'm going to be riding, I do not put it where my saddle is going to be because it can cause it to be slippery. Okay, so you take this, we'll spray it on. You can either use a rag or like a soft brush. I'm going to use the rag because my brush is full of hair. Now all this is doing is giving your horse a nice sheen, make them look crisp, fresh, getting that hair to lay down really nice. Go through. All right, that is it. Thank you.